This book is for anybody who loves to eat pasta, anybody who loves to cook pasta. It's a combination of family favorites, recipes that I found in my travels in Italy, and actually just recipes that I played around with and created on my own just because it's fun to create new dishes. I didn't think I'd ever be writing a book about pasta because so much had already been written on the subject. So when I embarked on the project to write this book, I wanted to be sure that I was going to delve into new territory. First, I kind of took a step back. I thought about all the pasta I had eaten in my lifetime, which is a lot because I have an Italian mother who's a wonderful cook, and so I had a lot of pasta growing up. And I ended up traveling to Abruzzo, Italy, which is where my mom's family is from, and it's where she grew up, and it happens to be one of the best places in Italy for pasta. So we just traveled around and ate a lot of pasta, and wherever I went, people were willing to let me into their kitchens to see what they were doing, and I sort of feel like a curator of these recipes. I don't want them to vanish. Some of them are actually quite old. I found a recipe for a very long, stretched out noodle. You take a ball of pasta dough and you puncture it and you start pulling and stretching it, so you end up with a loop of maybe 10 feet long. And so this recipe has been around for a few hundred years, and it's from Abruzzo, and even though I am somebody who spent a lot of time there, I had never heard of this noodle until my most recent trip, and I felt like I really needed to rescue that noodle from obscurity. I found that not only are there many wonderful traditional recipes that were still undiscovered, but there's also some wonderful contemporary cooking going on by young Italian cooks and chefs. They run farms and restaurants and inns, but what I love about these types of places is that the young generation wants to preserve what has come before, but they're also moving things forward. So I found a lot of that on my trip, and I felt very encouraged by it. The first thing I did when I came back is I got right into the kitchen and I started cooking. I happen to love carrots, and I think they're really an underused vegetable, so I like to find new ways to use them. This is the roasted carrot and ricotta gnocchi with herb butter. I made this recipe up. It's very different from the classic potato gnocchi that most people are familiar with. They are a beautiful golden saffron color, and they're savory with a little bit of that caramelized carrot sweetness. It's a wonderful dish to make for company, and the great thing about it is you can make it ahead. We all want to try new things. We all want to experiment. We want to get our hands messy. And there is no better vehicle than pasta for having fun in the kitchen. You can start very simple with a basic egg dough, and then you can move on from there. The sky is the limit. You're limited only by your imagination.